Yipee-Ki-Yay, Mr. Falcon.
Bonus content.
There were a lot of time travel movies when we were kids, man. Why for how come?
Why for how come?
Yeah, why for how
For
come?
quite a long time. I don't know, man. It was just a convenient way to fix something in a plot. It was just like an easy setup.
I wonder if it's
man, this
like,
bad thing happened. We got to stop it. Let's go back in time.
Yeah. I guess they could also finally make the special effects look kind of cool for the first time. Did you ever see the old one, the 1960 Time Machine?
No. I've seen pieces of it. I don't remember sitting through the whole thing. Remember the Morlocks freaked me out.
Yeah. They're like covered in, looks like blue-green putty.
Yeah, man. They're creepy looking.
Yeah, man, that's the old H.G. Wells. Whenever I hear the word time machine, I think of the DeLorean. I can't help it. It's just, it was always there. 85. We were babies. We babies. Back to the Future was always. I remember when the third one came out, like vaguely. That was in the early '90s. I vaguely remember that, and the hype around it and shit. But. Yeah, that first one, man, I don't know. I was real young when I saw that the first time, the original. Like, did you always watch it growing up, or was that another one you didn't watch till you were older?
I watched it growing up, but like not a ton.
No.
I haven't seen it in forever. But like, yeah, I did watch it a few times when I was younger.
I think it was on a lot in my house because my dad liked to reminisce about the 50s part because that's when he grew up. And, that's most of the movie. That was a thing in the 80s, too. Period pieces set in the 50s. And because I think they were just enough decades away from it to make it really nostalgic.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of shit had changed by the 80s, too, visually and everything, right? But, okay, so they've done time travel a bunch of different ways, right?
Yeah, it's been done to death.
Back to the Future, like there's methods. There's different methods of time traveling, and like the time machine, the old one, that was kind of like a vehicle, but it was a stationary deal. Like that machine kind of created like a time travel bubble around it, and the world moved on around it, while the time machine like stayed there. Right. Then the DeLorean, of course, had to go 88 miles an hour before it could flux capacitate.
Great Scott.
Travel through time. Sure, why not? Like what other movies had a vehicle component? Because Terminator, we had that. That's like different. It's just sent the body through in like a orb type of deal. No vehicle. I don't know. TimeCop.
Vehicle.
Remember TimeCop?
Yeah, they had this weird like car thing on a track that they had to get up to a certain speed.
That was the strange. Yeah, it was kind of like the DeLorean, but except
it was on a track,
and there was a wall. You remember?
They would like shoot it at this wall, but like if it got fast enough, it would go back in time.
But why was there a wall? Like, there's two stains on the wall, and they talk about how it was the Vollmer twins or whatever the fuck he's Van Damme is muttering. And I always wonder, I'm like, all right, but why couldn't you have put like a big old pillow or just keep the track going? So if the time travel thingy doesn't work, it just keeps, rolling. Why the fuck would you put a giant concrete wall?
I don't know, man, because I don't know. It's like when you watch Star Wars and they show the guys inside the Death Star and there's not a railing in sight.
Never.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's the excitement of space.
Fall to your death anywhere in the Death Star.
I became keenly aware of that when I started playing Star Wars video games.
Yeah.
And you were running around an Empire ship and you could just fucking run straight off any platform you needed to,
Yeah. Yeah,
Dead.
yeah. But like that's
Dead.
the way those things look. There's no safety features at all in the Empire's aesthetic, in their building code.
Well, TimeCop was even more confusing because they would travel, like, they were in this, like, rail car thing that would shoot them through time. But when they arrived at their destination, they kind of just, like, what fucking fell out of the sky, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because they land in a lake.
It's been a long time.
I remember they land in a lake in the first. If anyone doesn't know, TimeCop is a cinematic gem from 1994, starring the incomparable Jean-Claude Van Damme, one of Tom's favorite actors of all time.
I love Van Damme.
And this was like the beginning of the downturn of his popularity, because for a while there he was just doing his thing, and I'm going to see the new Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Van Damme, yeah, awesome. And then it stopped being awesome after a while. This one is like, it starts off with him, he's a cop, a normal cop, not a time cop yet, just cop. His wife gets killed, his house blows up, he gets his ass beat. He gets his ass beat a lot, Van Damme. He just does in all his movies. And then, what the fuck, then there's like a flash forward, and now he's working for a time police agency because time travel's been discovered, and of course when it gets discovered it gets weaponized, and every so often bad actors acquire the tech somehow and then like go back and steal gold from the Confederacy or whatever the fuck they do. And
I did like the opening case of that movie. He catches a guy that went back to the 30s.
Oh, the Wall Street dude. Yeah.
Right before the Great Depression. And he catches him trying to, like, move stock.
You know,
I thought that was kind of neat.
You know that guy in his office there? You know what he was listening to?
No.
A mini disc player.
What's he really?
That was the futuristic music device that he brought with him.
You and your fucking mini disc.
It was a mini disc player. That's right, baby.
That's phenomenal.
That's it. Yeah, that was cool. That was his first, like, the cold open case that we got to see, so we know what time cops do before we get into the plot. And then the plot is like, there's like this evil senator running for president, and he's doing time travel shit to help his younger self do better, and the time travel gets real muddy. And yet another movie where we get two Jean-Claudes on screen at the same time. Thank God. He loved doing that.
The second time, yeah.
Well, you could tell which was the past guy and the future guy, because the future one had a mullet and the past one didn't. So it was super easy. What was the rule in this one? It was something like
this rule, like, you couldn't touch
same matter. Yeah.
The same matter can't occupy the same space.
Yeah.
So you couldn't touch your past or future self, or you would melt, as the senator did,
big pink
into this
gluey globule.
gelatinous lump.
It's
He
bad.
just turned into he just melted into this pink organic lump.
Yeah, they warn you about it, like, don't cross the streams, like, a couple times through the movie.
Yeah.
And then you get to finally fucking see, you're like, oh, he's going to tell you, throws him into it. It's like, no.
I thought that was neat, though. I like that.
Well, hey, like, that was kind of what Doc Brown said was, I mean, he said it would be super bad if you and your other self interacted, I mean, well, we see it, don't we? We see it in the second one. The Jennifers see each other and they just kind of pass out, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but I
think it's more to do with, like, the ramifications versus, like, a hard physics-based, rule.
I think it was more to do that in 1985 it was really hard to film, like, two people being themselves split screen. It still looked pretty fake back then. I guess they just wanted to avoid it.
What was the other Van Damme movie they made where there were double impact?
Double something. Yeah, Double Impact. Holy shit.
I loved Double Impact.
the titles of his movies are Seagal level. Wasn't there one that was Sudden Death? And it took place at a hockey stadium. Yeah. I just remember him
incredible.
crawling around in like the lighting above the stadium, like above the rink. And
that movie had the longest end of the bad guy scene ever filmed.
I don't remember.
It's like, for some reason, I think like the guy dies. Like he crashes through the top of the stadium in a helicopter, and the helicopter is doing like a nosedive toward the ice.
Okay.
And they just keep cutting back and forth. Like they cut to Van Damme like breathing slowly. They cut to the rotors like choo, 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 choo. And they cut to the guy in the cockpit just like just like screaming. And then those 3 shots just repeat in succession for like a minute and a half. And you're like, my God, how long is it going to take him to kill this guy?
It's like something out of Leslie Nielsen movie. That's wonderful.
And it's like totally unironic. It's insane.
I just remember that Double Impact movie. He has that line about how you can tell him and the twin apart. He's like, I would never wear silk underwear.
This is black silk underwear.
So
you
weird.
and your black silk underwear.
And in TimeCop, dude, last time I watched it, I noticed I couldn't help but notice his clothes were just fucking nutty. Like his uniform, he's wearing like combat boots with the shit tucked in, right? But the pants he's rocking are like old man nipple pants.
Yeah, they are high.
He's got those fucking things jacked up, right? Shirt tucked in. Then he's wearing a jacket. It's like a bomber jacket. But then he's got the sleeves rolled up and the mullet. It's a study in contrasts, is what it is.
Yeah, it's
fucking ridiculous. He looks
it's
nuts.
Something.
He looks
I could just see him
nuts.
like with his hands on his belt.
Yeah.
Where his belt is like up around his ribs.
Yeah. He has to move the bomber jacket length jacket aside to get to his belt. It's ridiculous. I know. And who the fuck is Gloria Rubin is the woman in that, his partner, who out of just for no reason betrays him. His wife is Mia Sara. You remember her?
No.
She was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh,
she was
yeah,
Sloane,
yeah.
and she was in Legend.
Yep.
She was in Legend. She was the woman, the lead.
I always used to
actress.
mistake her for Jennifer Connelly in Legend.
I used to get her and Phoebe Cates confused all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Understandable. Yeah, she had
Different
like
people.
3 lines in TimeCop. And other than that, she's just getting thrown around by guys with guns in a robe. Waste. Anyway.
Yep.
The TimeCop, for some reason, it felt like a movie you would have watched a lot.
I saw TimeCop a lot.
Did you?
we loved TimeCop. It was like my dad rented it, because that was absolutely a Bill movie. And he loved Van Damme, and it was just serious enough and just stupid enough that it was perfect.
Yeah, that's the way.
He saw it,
Yeah.
let us watch it. We were like, this movie's awesome.
No, it was pretty cool. There's also that scene in the beginning where, like I said, a guy goes back to the Civil War and basically takes out a whole troop of dudes on horseback with a couple submachine guns and steals their gold. That was kind of neat to see. Because like all time travel movies, other than Terminator, which I don't think really counts because it's people traveling to our present. So it's more like, time travel's a thing, but the audience and the protagonists aren't doing the time traveling in that. But there weren't a lot of like horror or like, negative or scary time travel movies. They were always kind of adventurous more than anything else, There were horror elements to the old Time Machine, for sure. But like when we were younger, I don't know, TimeCop was kind of neat to add crime and to add just like nefarious human shit to something like time travel. It's ridiculous, but it's kind of neat.
Oh, yeah. You know what did that, too? 12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys. Neat. That's a weird time travel movie, huh?
I love that movie. That's really good.
What was the mechanism in that? It's like kind of like a machine, right?
I saw like the making of. They found like an old warehouse, or not a warehouse, an old factory, and there was this like big furnace looking thing that had like a pipe coming out of it, like a big like hole, and they like fed a naked Bruce Willis into this tube into
And
this
it's like
big
sucks him
hole
through, yeah.
in this old decommissioned piece of like industrial equipment because it just looked awesome, you know. And they just kind of like slowly put him in the thing and turned it on, and away he went.
I like that. I like that movie more every time I see it, I think.
It's really good.
And it's set in Philly, which is kind of neat. Brad Pitt's fantastic in that. Love him. That's the first
he's
movie I
great.
saw him in where I'm like, this guy's kind of fucking weird. I like it.
My father. Wait till my father finds out about this.
That wacky eye and the fucking just the hands, like the Hunter Thompson hands, kind of. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe he hung out with Johnny Depp and he got the idea. I don't know.
That's a great movie.
That was yeah, great Bruce Willis movie too. Who was the lead actress in that? The doctor, the psychologist that he stalks through time. Is that Madeline Stowe?
Is it?
I don't remember. Oh man, I
Or
got to
is
go
it-
back and watch this movie.
Or is it? I'm conflating like Madeline Stowe, Andy McDowell,
Oh.
and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio.
That's fucked up, and that's easy. That's a lot of brunettes with very similar features. Oh, before we get too far away from it, I have to relay a discovery.
Madeline
I made.
Stowe.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, you did it.
There was a kind of a half-assed sequel to the old Time Machine, the H.G. Wells Time Machine that they made in the late 70s, right? It was called Time After Time. And it now, wait till you hear the plot of this fucking thing. I've never seen this movie, but I stumbled across it on IMDb, and I must see it. Malcolm McDowell is the lead, okay? And also stars Mary Steenburgen. So that's 2 time travel movies she's in. This and Back to the Future 3. The plot, Malcolm McDowell plays H.G. Wells himself.
Okay.
H.G. Wells pursues Jack the Ripper to the 20th century when the serial murderer uses the future writer's time machine to escape his time period. It sounds so bad.
Wait. What?
It seems like Jack the Ripper, who is the photographer guy from The Omen, that British dude,
Okay.
it seems like he steals the time machine to
escape his own time period.
his London, and then I don't know how, but somehow H.G. Wells follows him to the 20th century, because I guess we're positing that H.G. Wells did not merely write about the time machine, he built one, perhaps. It all takes place in the 80s. Like, there's a shot of H.G. Wells going into a McDonald's in the trailer that I saw. And I gotta know what it's about. And for some reason, he's dressed like fucking Sherlock Holmes. H.G. Wells is dressed like Sherlock Holmes. I gotta know, dude. I must know. It's on Amazon. I can rent it on Amazon. I might.
You're gonna.
Probably gonna. Time after time. I've been having good luck, man. I've been having good luck with the blind movies. Had another one.
What do you got?
I bought a movie unseen from the olden days, from I think 79. Hold on. 77. Sorry, it's called Sorcerer.
I've heard of this.
You have? Holy shit.
Is this William Friedkin?
It is. It is. This poor movie
I know about this movie.
It had the misfortune of coming out a week before Star Wars.
And it also, yeah, you were never going to win that box office draw. And it was William Friedkin off right after he made The Exorcist. And
was it Exorcist or the other one?
Well, either way, he made The Exorcist. That's what he's known for. And he puts out a movie called Sorcerer, and people think it's going to be one thing, and it's not.
Yeah,
this
is not about sorcerers. It's not about magic at all.
Isn't it about like a heist or something in the jungle?
Kind of. You were right. He did The French Connection in 1971. He did The Exorcist in 1973. It starts off with 4 vignettes about 4 different criminals in different countries. U.S. I think that scene's in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Hey, that's Roy Scheider. He's the American. And then there's one in Israel, one in Paris, and one is somewhere else. And the dudes who survive, they're basically all heists or something that goes really wrong and a lot of people get killed. The person who survives each one, they all go on the run and they end up in this absolute horrid shithole in the jungle in Mexico. And it's about this. It's so strange. It's near an oil well that, did you ever see There Will Be Blood?
Yeah, Let There Be Blood.
I always get that wrong. What the fuck's wrong with me? When the oil well catches on fire and they have to run the dynamite at it and blow it up to close it. That's basically what needs to happen in this movie. But the only dynamite they have is like 200 and something miles away. I think 218 miles away. And when they go to look at it, it was stored improperly and it's sweating nitroglycerin. So it's super dangerous to transport, but they have nothing else. And the company wants its oil. And it sounds like it's a big corporation. It's just like 2 sweaty white guys in linen suits, in the jungle. Like, it's a dirty, grimy, like, the mood of this movie was so tangible. Like, it's really oppressive in the beginning. And then the whole drive is just pure anxiety the whole time. Because it's just the worst fucking driving conditions you could possibly imagine. Then there's this ridiculous scene with this rope bridge. And these fucking trucks are like rusted hulks that they just kind of slapped together and made run. And at any moment they could blow up too. It's really something, man. So I'm sorry, the 4 guys who end up in this shithole, they all know how to drive trucks. So they get hired to transport this sweating dynamite through the jungle on dirt roads 218 miles to the oil well. And they put them in 2 trucks so that, like, if they lose one, they still can do it.
Yeah, that sounds nerve-wracking.
For something like 8,000 pesos or whatever they're paying them.
Jesus.
But they're like, literally, like, it's the most, like, it's super poverty, the place that they're in. It's bad. It's like super bad. I saw that. I believe it or not, I've seen 2 of his movies recently that I never saw before. You ever hear one called To Live and Die in L.A.? From 85?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've not seen it, but I know of that movie.
It's William Peterson, the dude from the original CSI and from Manhunter.
Yeah.
Bro. Fucking, and Willem Dafoe. Really young Willem Dafoe. Really cool movie, man. I could bring that over. I got that on 4K. It's pretty rad.
How's it look?
Looks great. The titles are in like 80s font in hot pink, I think, or like a serious red, and just like they're so bright. It's fucking awesome. And it's a movie about counterfeiting. Willem Dafoe is an artist who's also really good at counterfeiting money. And there's crooked cops, and it's awesome. It's awesome. There's like cops doing a dirty deal, and think they're going to get away with a bunch of shit, and it turns out there's FBI agents involved. People die, and it's great. Great ending too. Dark, downbeat. Fucking don't expect it. Excellent.
You love a downbeat ending.
Yeah, because you never know when one's coming. You know, they're almost always surprising, especially these days. I don't know. Downbeat endings always seem like they mean more. Less of a cop out. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm just an asshole. Jaded asshole.
No, yeah, I get it. Like, it's one feels truer to reality because, like, things don't always wrap up nicely.
I don't know how we got it talking about Friedkin from time travel movies, but
I mean, either.
There you go. I don't know.
Let's go back in time to when we were talking about
back
time travel
in
movies.
Time. Huey Lewis in the News. Do you like Huey Lewis in the News? All right, so real quick, since there were so many growing up, what's your favorite time travel movie?
My favorite time travel? Oh, man.
Without consulting a list, so just like top of your head.
Oh, well, like, let's see there. Back to the Futures. All of those. TimeCop.
Terminator.
12 Monkeys.
Terminator 2.
Yeah, those are great. No, I feel like there's a ton that I'm missing.
All right. Let's run through. I got a quick list here.
You go
It's
go
pretty
first.
good.
You go first.
My favorite?
Yeah.
Well, like the easy answer is Back to the Future, but that aside, I really liked Frequency, and I don't know if we can really call that a time travel movie, but it has time travel movie elements. Have you ever seen that with Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel?
No. Is that the one with the radio?
Yeah. You hate it.
Yeah. I've not seen it.
You heard the concept and hated it immediately.
No. I'm aware of it. That's all I'm saying.
I got a better one for you. There's two of them, but the first one, have you ever seen a movie called The Final Countdown? But have you?
No.
No? All right. This movie, it sounds like the plot of a video game. But it's movies from 1980, and it's got a wild cast. It's got Kirk Douglas and Martin Sheen, and just like a whole Ryan O'Neal, like a whole bunch of fucking actors from that era. The plot is an aircraft carrier, circa 1980 aircraft carrier, goes back in time to 1941. Near Hawaii, like right before the Pearl Harbor attack. The whole ship is transported back with all of its jets and fucking, I forget the mechanism. It's like a thing at sea, a mysterious thing at sea. Sucks them back in time. You never heard of this? You never seen this?
No.
It's pretty cool. Like, just that premise alone is worth it. It's a little poorly executed because they didn't have a lot of money for the special effects once they get there. But it is kind of neat to see, like, jets going after Japanese warplanes from 41. It's pretty ambitious.
That is kind of cool.
Then there's another one that was in the same vein called the Philadelphia Experiment. You ever seen that?
I've heard of that. That's supposed to be like, like a true story.
Yeah.
That people believe really happened.
Yeah,
made a whole ship like disappear essentially.
It's one of those like X-Files stories. It was supposedly a super camouflage experiment. The idea was to make an entire ship visually disappear. The trick of this one is they do that and the ship reappears in a different time, and almost all of its crew has been fused with the ship itself.
Ew, gross.
There's like dudes like half buried in the deck, like wriggling and in horrible pain. It's fucking nuts. But two guys like make it out okay, and they don't. They're in a desert. Like they don't know why they're there. They have to. It's like two fish out of water stories, and they start getting sick, and they're like slowly dying. It's kind of neat.
Jeez.
Michael Pere is in that. He was Eddie from Eddie and the Cruisers.
Oh, Eddie.
Yeah, and Nancy Allen.
That's how he faked his death in Eddie and the
That's
Cruisers.
it. He went back
in time.
There you go, and fought the Nazis. Yeah, and Nancy Allen is the woman in that. She was the partner in RoboCop. That's what you would know her from.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just figured out what my favorite time travel movie was.
What?
I don't know that it's not the best, but when I saw it, it blew my fucking mind. I loved it. I watched it a ton, and I saw it at a time when I was starting to like get into movies and things that were like deep and shit.
All right.
It's Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko. Yeah.
I loved Donnie Darko. And it doesn't feel like a time travel movie because like, you know, the whole film is about him positing, you know, is this possible? And then like you get it, the answer to it in the climax. And then still, even after the movie's over, you're like, well, how does that work? And, you know, did he really do it? And there's all these questions surrounding it, but they're the right kinds that make a movie interesting.
Yeah, it's way less of a literal
loved it.
time travel movie, more of an esoteric one. The director's cut of that is much better.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's a little bit more clear. Yeah, that's a good one. That was a little too popular in high school for me to like it.
You could not allow yourself.
Could not
to like
allow it.
Too many other people did.
Another one bears mentioning. Hot Tub Time Machine. I'm always for good comedy, and when you throw some time travel in, and you send people back to the '80s, it's kind of neat. That had an interesting.
You get to just lampoon the whole decade.
That had an interesting mechanism, though, because it was the deal with that was.
It was a hot tub.
Yeah. Aside from that, when they went back in time, everyone, of course, where they were, they saw other people saw their younger selves, saw them as the age they should have been in that year, whereas they saw each other as the actors that were hired to play them. Like John Cusack looks like old ass John Cusack, but in the mirror and to everyone else, he looks like a teenage version of himself. I think that was kind of neat. That was kind of made it funnier. That's for sure.
Made it interesting.
It reminded me of Quantum Leap. You remember Quantum Leap?
Oh yeah.
The deal with that was he that was a fucked up thing. Essentially his spirit would travel through time and inhabited other people in different time periods, but it had to be within his lifespan. And when he would go into them, their spirit would switch places and come into his body in the future, which they never showed because it was really weird and creepy. The other part of it was just creepy enough, and you couldn't imagine that there's somebody in Scott Bakula's body wondering why they're trapped there for an hour and a half every week. But I loved that show. I loved Quantum Leap.
That show was so goofy. I remember he was Bigfoot in an episode.
Was he Bigfoot? I know he leapt into a chimpanzee in one.
He was Bigfoot for an episode.
Really?
He'd always he would get to a mirror and then he would go, "Oh boy."
Yeah. Oh boy. It was always in the cold open. Oh boy. There's some cool ones though, man. In the first season, they really leaned into it pretty hard. They were trying to make it a serious show. And I remember there was one episode where he leaps into a guy in his brother's platoon in Vietnam. And it was pretty cool. That was a cool arc. That was a neat one. Then there were other episodes where he would leap into women, and they really made a big deal of dressing Scott Bakula in dresses and stuff. And he knew karate. You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
That was a
one. How did he know?
caveat. Like the thing too was that the time travel process, he would forget things, but then he would remember them at like the perfect time. And then after a while, he would doing it like things about his real self would start coming back. And at some point, he remembered that he was like an expert martial artist. So somehow, no matter who he leapt into, he had the strength and power of a 6'1" martial artist man. So he would leap into like demure women. He leapt into a kid with Down syndrome in one episode.
Oh, I remember that one. He looks in the mirror. He goes,
Yeah.
I'm retarded.
Does he
I was
say
like,
that? Oh my
yeah.
God. That tracks.
Flat out goes, I'm retarded. And,
was the
and you see
90s,
it
yeah.
now, you just cringe. Like, oh God, why'd they do that?
It was the 90s, yeah. But then I remember, like, he would be in these other bodies, then all of a sudden when he needed to, just pulling out fucking spin kicks and just, like, ripping dudes' faces off. It was fantastic. You were like, is he gonna fucking kick him? Just kick the fucker. And then he had Al.
Yeah, Al was the
He was a hologram that only Sam
projection.
can see and hear. The intro to that woman's voice, that was fucking epic, dude.
He had that weird calculator thing he was always punching on.
Yeah. It was Gushy and Ziggy, the computer, and the douchebag back home running it. Yeah.
That show was nuts.
Leaping from life to life, striving to set right what once went wrong, and hoping with each leap will be the leap home.
Man, you did watch a lot of Quantum Leap.
I like
Holy
Quantum Leap,
shit.
man. It was a lot of fun for me. I was a science nerd when I was real little. I loved that shit. Ghostbusters did it. It was their fault. Yeah. But Hot Tub Time Machine, though.
I know you're not too big a fan of the Avengers movies.
Yeah, I know. There's some. I was with it up until Endgame.
They do a bunch of time travel shit in Endgame. And,
Yeah, I remember.
and it's funny. Like, they have that one scene where they're arguing about how it works. You know, like, let's just go back in time and kill Thanos before he has the stones. And then they go like, oh, that's not how time travel works. And then they start like in every time
Don't
travel
they talk
movie
about
ever.
movies, right? Yeah.
There's like, and Don Cheadle just starts rattling them off. He's just like Terminator, Time Cop, the
Bill
Back
and
to the
Ted's
Future,
Excellent Adventure.
and then Paul Rudd pipes up and goes, "Hot Tub Time Machine, Hot Tub Time Machine," and then eventually he goes, "Die Hard." No, that's not one of them.
No, that didn't do it. No.
But it does raise an interesting question about like what the rules are, you know, because they're of the mind that like, yeah, you go back and change something and it fixes the future. And like, I think like the Hulk explains it. He goes, so like if you go back in time, that time that you're in now is your present, your current present, which can't then affect your future.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's all right. Breaking it down. The fantasy of it, of course, in most time travel stories, is to change something that happened, either in your own life or in the world, right? To hopefully affect the present in a positive way. And Back to the Future is the core of that. That's the core of the story. It raises a lot of questions. It does paradox things. Like it wouldn't work, but that's the fantasy of it, right? And then there's different iterations of it. Like the Hot Tub Time Machine example is really neat because they literally get to go back and live a portion of their young lives over again. It's the fantasy of knowing what I know now. If I could go back, and that's literally what they get to do in that movie. Whereas Back to the Future, Marty goes back to a time he never witnessed, long before he was ever born, right? But he gets to interact with his parents in an extremely incestuous way sometimes.
Yeah.
When they were his age, which is a really interesting thought experiment, right? So it's all these stories are like this desire to fulfill that something in that vein. Like TimeCop is a revenge story, essentially. It's a revenge story where you get to actually bring somebody back from the dead and save them while also taking vengeance on the person that killed them. You know, I think one that kind of breaks the mold is Looper. That very different motivations in that
Looper
one.
was interesting.
Yeah, that's reminded me of like an Asimov story, like a hardcore sci-fi story. You know, that was neat. That was a neat take on it. I think that something like that is a bit different. You ever see Peggy Sue Got Married?
No, that was the Nick Cage one, right?
Yeah. That one's debatable because it for the most part, it is a time travel movie, but at the end, I'm pretty sure it's just a fantasy while she's passed out. But the gist of it is she gets to go back and she's living as herself during like the time around her senior prom in high school. But the touching part of that was like when she goes back, her parents are alive, you know, like whereas they're dead in the present. And just little things like that, you're like, oh, yeah, no, I get why they're telling this story. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's something a lot of people can relate to. Here's a good one, and I bet you've never seen it. A Jake Gyllenhaal movie that a lot of people didn't see called Source Code from 2011.
Yeah, I heard of this. I heard this was actually pretty good.
It's really good. And again, downer ending, and I think that's why people didn't like it. But it's kind of like a Groundhog's Day, kind of like that Tom Cruise movie, Edge of Tomorrow. Like, whereas he keeps
getting like reborn.
Yeah, he keeps like resetting back to the same spot in time. But the goal in this one is that he's on board a train that is destroyed by a terrorist bomb, and he has like 8 minutes, I think it is, every time it resets, to figure out a little bit more about who might be the bomber and where the bomb might be. But he remembers everything that he goes through each time. So it's like a video game. Like he builds on, like he has 8 minutes, but in that 8 minutes, he checks like a different room, a different set of rooms, you know, on the train each time. You know what I mean? And just keeps building on it. And it's really neat. It's a really neat story. I think it's better than Looper, honestly. And that Tom Cruise one too, you could argue that that's time travel too, because it's got that same reset function.
So's Groundhog Day.
I guess so. Yeah. It's a reset instead of like traveling from one point in time to another. It's the same point every time, but yeah, it counts. It counts. That's pretty neat. That's pretty cool, man. Remember the butterfly effect? Did you ever see that?
No.
No,
That was an Ashton Kutcher vehicle, right?
Yeah, I only saw it once. I remember it, but you know, everybody knew what the butterfly effect was after that.
Yeah. How about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time?
The scepter, baby. The time scepter. They travel back to what, feudal Japan, right? Yeah.
They sure do.
For the whole movie. The most confusing part about that movie is that the incomparable Elias Koteas returns to play Casey Jones in the present day New York in their awesome abandoned subway station lair. But he is also possibly plays his own ancestor in feudal Japan that April O'Neil runs into, but they never actually make a connection between the two. She just remarks that he looks like him once, and then they just totally gloss over it forever. There's no, like, nothing. It's so strange. I guess they just wanted Elias Koteas in it, but he gets hardly any lines as either character. It's so fucking weird, man. And the turtles are weird in that. And Splinter looks like a marionette. It's so remarkable how much better they looked in '89 than in that one. But yeah, Turtles in Time, baby. Turtles in Time. I mean, Army of Darkness is technically time travel, right? Ash goes back to the Middle Ages with a shotgun and a Chevy.
Yeah. He's still like on Earth.
It's an Oldsmobile, I think. Yeah, he's on Earth. That's Earth.
Yeah.
It's just a low budget. It's like a fantasy low budget representation of the Middle Ages. But yeah. All right, here's one. So what about like the Futurama thing? Is that time travel? Like if you're frozen in suspended animation and then wake up in the future?
Oh, like Idiocracy.
Yeah, exactly like Idiocracy. Yeah. Does that count?
I mean, technically, it's just it took a lot longer for you to get there. Although not the way you experienced it.
Right. Right. To the audience, it's time travel. Yeah. Like Captain America, in the ice.
Yeah. I went into the ice in 45.
And that Mel Gibson movie I was telling you about, Forever Young, about the test pilot who gets cryogenically frozen. Yeah. See? We're drawing connections.
It's a thing.
About to cross some lines. I feel like we're missing something very, very, very... I mentioned Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And I did watch that a lot as a kid.
That movie's great.
I just did. A phone booth, man, is a time machine. That's fucking epic. That's so dated.
We've talked about Bill and Ted before.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
I think in the time travel setting, it's a classic.
And it's a cool mechanism too. The idea that there's like a phone book and you just punch in different codes for the different year you want to go to. It's fantastic, man. It's fantastic. And just the premise of that whole stupid movie. Just collecting figures from history for a history report that you deliver on stage to the entire school for some reason.
He loves San Dimas.
Sandy Miss. I get it. So crates. Fucking so crates, man.
So crates.
Genghis Khan and Abraham Lincoln. And Billy the Kid, who's just shooting shit in the school auditorium.
Beethoven.
Beethoven.
Dave Beethoven.
That's right. And Napoleon. Ziggy Piggy. Baton. I'm going to go fucking watch that now. God damn it.
Yeah. So... let me ask you a question. Which flavor of time travel do you prefer? Because you brought up Back to the Future and TimeCop earlier.
Yeah.
And they're Back to the Future is very much comedy, a lot of what if, just funny situations. How does he navigate them? Versus TimeCop, which is pretty... down to earth, gritty.
Yeah.
I mean, the title says it all.
Sort of. Yeah. Yeah. I think they both do what they were supposed to do pretty well. Like Time Cop is supposed to be, time travel as an action movie, and that's what it is. Like it keeps the rules pretty cut and dry, and I like the comedy side of it better. I guess the Terminator movies are a bit of a notable exception, but for the most part, I think it plays better when it's a lighter film because it's an inherently goofy concept that's so impossible that if you think about it for just a little too long, it always falls apart. It just becomes a mess. But in a comedy, you can more readily forgive things like traveling through time in a hot tub for whatever reason. It's just the result and the situations that you're setting up that matter, It's a DeLorean because it looked cool. It makes no sense, and it doesn't have to. It's just easier. It's easier to fall into the fantasy of it, which is the point. You can do it really well if you really, really try hard in a hard sci-fi movie. And I think Looper is a good example. That Gyllenhaal one, that Source Code one, that's a good example. Donnie
12
Darko.
Monkeys.
12 Monkeys, Donnie Darko are really good examples, but... they have to be a little more abstract. The more grounded you try to make it in some kind of actual science, the goofier it gets to me.
Because you have to make all these concessions.
Yes, exactly.
And explain them.
Yeah, it's bad enough in Back to the Future 2 when Doc starts drawing lines on the chalkboard about divergent timelines and shit. Because none of that shit makes sense within the context of that. But you don't care because you're like, wow, this is a fucked up 1985, And You know what's really interesting about Back to the Future that somebody on the internet brought up is something I never considered before.
What's that?
So, first movie goes back to the 50s, makes changes, comes back to 1985, and 1985 is completely different, right? Someone said, okay, they travel to the future from that 1985, the changed 1985, right? Well, Marty's original 1985, where his mom's an alcoholic and his dad's a loser, that's our timeline. That's the original timeline.
Right.
And that's why 2015 in Back to the Future 2 was so much more advanced than our 2015 in reality. Because Marty had already made that timeline better back in the 50s. So it kind of tracks. Even retroactively.
That's interesting.
You can make it make sense if you want to. I thought that's pretty fucking cool, man. But it always scared me. What? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you ever hear the thing about who was originally cast as Marty McFly and why he didn't get the part?
Oh, yeah. Eric Stoltz.
Yeah, and like
They started filming it.
Why they fired him?
It was because he wasn't funny, right? Like the performance was coming across dark.
But the reason the performance came across dark was because how he viewed the scenario. His whole thing was like, if I go back to the 50s, and I then come back to 1985 after having changed some shit, in his mind it's like, who are you other than if not the sum total of your memories and your lived experience?
No, he's totally right. Yeah.
So you come back to 1985, everything's changed, and everything you remember about your life never happened, essentially.
Yeah.
So you're coming back to a world you don't recognize after having lived a life that never happened. And you're like this, all of a sudden you're like this anachronism. You have no time.
Not only that, you have an entire life's worth of memories that you're the only one who remembers them.
Yeah.
And you have no idea which ones might be the same and which ones are different and which ones don't exist anymore at all. Never happened.
So he sees that subtext in the plot and plays it that way. And they're like, that's not the kind of movie we want to make. So they fired him.
Yeah.
But he's
right, though. And I mean, I thought of it. I mean, I watched this a lot when I was younger, but I thought of it pretty young because it's really obvious. He comes back and he has no idea who his parents are. They're completely different people. Right. And you're like, well, fuck, man. Like, why is his room the same? Like, he doesn't even remember his living room furniture. Like, he doesn't know where anything is in the cabinets. Like, little things, like, it must have been awful, but you never even get time for him to think about it because literally minutes later, Doc picks him up and Jennifer up in the DeLorean and they're off to the races. And that dude doesn't get back to his 1985 again until after the third movie. You literally never see him have to deal with this shit.
That as soon as that movie ends, like he gets that letter.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, I've gone back to 1885 or something.
Yeah, and then he's back with 1950s Doc and figuring it out and going back to the Old West. Yep, until he comes back and races Flea in a drag race from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's right.
Yeah. There in that Frequency movie. It's a guy talking to his dead dad. I don't know what, like 30 years in the past, over a ham radio, right? But they do some cool shit, like, and something the dad does back in the day is immediately evident to the son in the present day, right? Like the fuck he does? He tips something over and he burns the desk. He burns a spot on the desk. And it's the same desk, and the burn appears on the desk, right? But when they make bigger changes, obviously the future changes. Well, he explains, the son in the present day explains that all of a sudden he can remember both timelines at the same time. Like, he remembers a version of his life where this shit happened, but he also remembers the new version concurrently. So I thought that was kind of a neat way to fix that, you know,
Right.
or at least address it. And I never really
kind of a
saw that
mind job.
before. Yeah, yeah. Like a lot of sci-fi's dug into that, and sometimes it makes people go insane, and grandfather paradoxes and all this shit. And I know there's people get deep into this, and I know all these theoretical types of time travel all have different names, but I don't know what the fuck they are. I don't know what they are. So I don't care. What about
talk about that kind of stuff all the time in Doctor Who?
Yeah, I don't watch Doctor Who.
And I think you would hate it. I'm not really caught up myself.
I like Rick and Morty, but Rick doesn't believe in time travel. So.
They always have this throwaway line like, "Oh no, you can't do that. That'll destabilize the time continuum and destroy time as we know it. It's a paradox." And like every episode, they're just trying to avoid some time paradox that'll destroy everything.
On Rick and Morty, there is a time policing agency that is made up of floating giant testicles with mouths that sound like Audrey 2.
It's fucking
And
horrible.
when someone starts fucking with the timeline too much, they swoop in and fix it. So I choose to believe that that's reality. That's how things are.
Do they look like testicles, or are they really testicles?
Both.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's beautiful. What about you? What do you prefer? Serious, hard sci-fi, time travel, or more comedic shit?
I love Back to the Future. It's a great movie, but like on the whole, just across the board, I like the hard-edged, rule-heavy, gritty, science fiction-y time travel movie, like TimeCop. I wish TimeCop was a better movie, but like I really liked the whole idea behind it. Like, okay, yeah, there's time travel exists. These are the rules. These are how people are using it to their advantage. I love that whole angle.
I gotta say, if it's serious, if it goes the serious way, I definitely like things more like 12 Monkeys and Donnie Darko. A little more fantasy-ish, with a little horror element to it. It's pretty cool. Did you ever see the show, the 12 Monkeys show that they made?
No,
Wasn't very good.
I mean, it wasn't.
Nah, I didn't like it much.
I remember being interested in it, but like I didn't wind up watching it. And it didn't go anywhere.
You know which one we forgot? Interstellar.
Oh yeah, Interstellar.
Yeah,
that's
time
one's
travel.
weird.
Yeah, that's some definitely like more on the physics edge of what time travel might be. I think that's if it ever could be theoretically possible, I always just imagined it would be more like you get to watch. Like you might be able to go back, but you can't affect anything. You can't change anything because it's happened.
Well,
like I think you'd be more like Scrooge. In
right,
and you're just a watcher. Which is kind of neat too. You could witness so much and learn so much about the real past as it happened. That'd be kind of neat.
Kind of go a route like a pretty physics heavy route involving a black hole. This blew my mind when I read about this, that like time is affected by gravity.
Right.
That's how that one scenario in the book in that movie works, where like they're too close to a black hole, and so time moves faster on their planet.
Time dilation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was reading something about like what it would be like to fall into a black hole, right? And like if you could survive it, the closer you got to the black hole, I think like how does it work? Gravity makes time slow down.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And the further you are from gravity, time moves faster. So like as you get closer to the event horizon of a singularity in a black hole, the time it's infinite amount of gravity, which means the time dilation effect would make time move infinitely slow. So as you get closer, time just stretches out further and further and further, and you essentially become immortal. It's
interesting.
But like the way you experience it, like just time slows down to a complete stop, which is just really hard to conceptualize.
It's
in
kind
any
of
way.
terrifying.
Yes,
It's kind
it
of
is terrifying.
Well, yeah, because there's two. Like time is so interesting because it's our perception of it, which is very plastic, too, and then actual time is also kind of plastic. You know, it's malleable. It changes based on. It's not as concrete as we like to think it is. It's concrete with given a certain set of circumstances, but they can change, and we all know that depending on what's going on, things can feel like they take a lot longer than they do. Like when you're in pain, you know, time goes a lot slower. And a lot of things make time go faster. And I don't know, man. It's interesting. That's the cool thing about time travel movies, though, because you're thinking about shit like that, and that's one of the last frontiers of like mystery, you know, left out there. Big things like that, black holes and questions about the reality of time, and that's the big stuff, man. That's the fun stuff to me. I like that shit when it's done really well.
I heard a quote the other day. Ready to have your mind blown?
Blow it, baby.
This may be like just stupid, but I felt this to be like pretty interesting. So like, if art is what we use to decorate space, then music is what we use to decorate time.
I get it. Because what is music without time?
Right.
That's interesting.
You're decorating that, like if a song is 3 minutes long, you're decorating that 3 minutes
with the song.
Whatever sounds you're choosing to fill it with.
And that sequence with each note for the right amount of time. That's interesting. That's neat, dude. I like that.
I don't know where I read it. I read it and I was like, yeah.
I like that. You should find that quote. That's neat. That could be worth putting on a wall or something.
Shit, I'll put it on a T-shirt.
I'll get it tattooed on my ace.
But to your point though, like you said, like it like the way that a lot of people listen to music, or at least the way I do, it's just I'm decorating the time that I have to listen to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it can certainly make it feel like it's going faster or slowing down depending on what I'm putting on.
It's a good way to look at it. And if you're paying attention to something else, you know, a song can feel like it came and went real quick in the background, but if you're in a mood where you're actually just paying attention to nothing else but the music, much slower, much different experience. I like that, man. Cool.
And then it made me think more. I'm like, okay, well, this isn't a quote I read, but you could extrapolate that concept out. Like, so if art is what we decorate space with and music is a decoration for time, like what else is there? Like what about like writing? Right? Is that how you decorate your thoughts? You know?
Yeah.
Or like or consciousness, you know?
I've thought about the writing thing a lot, and it's really hard because it's very hard to know what reading is like in someone else's mind. But I've always thought of it as you're kind of participating in a trance if you really are into a story. Like there's nothing else that I've experienced as a person that's quite like that. That's quite like being utterly immersed in a novel. You know, you look up and it's been 3 hours and you paid attention to nothing but the ink on these pages, but your mind has been everywhere. And I don't know, like, it's not, movies can't really do that because they provide too much. Like, you could say they're decorating time too, but, you know, they're decorating space and time at the same time in a way. Yeah, because you have to pay attention to both, though. These days, a lot of people just look at the captions and whatever. But, yeah, I mean, writing requires a participation of a certain level from the reader to get to that place. And I just don't know what else we create. That maybe art. maybe like paintings and physical art, visual art that people can get lost in, getting essentially lost in their own thoughts that are being influenced by what they're seeing. Maybe that's something close, but I don't know.
It's not the same, man.
I'm not that heady. I don't know things like that. My wife probably could quote something very, very succinct and very adequate to explain all this to us very simply, but she's asleep.
Another time.
Another time, another place. Very good.